Hey boys and girls, it's time for phonics again, so go ahead and make sure you have out your language arts notebook and a good pencil to write down things, and let's get started. Instead of starting with our sounds today, we're going to go over some of our trick words that we learned last week, and I want you to focus on the way that these words are spelled. So I'm going to show you a word and you just read them back to your computer. City, good job. C-I makes the s sound. T-Y makes that long E sound. City. And I'll show you how to mark that up on your paper really quickly so you can see. You can scoop the C-I-T into one syllable, sit-E, and the Y makes that long E sound. City. Very good. The next word is the word every. Every. And remember, it's tricky because sometimes we forget that E right there, but the Y again says the long E sound. So a lot of times Y at the end of a word will give us that long E sound instead of our vowel teams like E-A, eat-E, or E-E, jeet-E, or E-Y, key-E. We just use the Y. And the last trick word that we have been working on last week is one of my favorite words ever, family. Family. Fam is easy to spell. That I tricks a lot of people, and the Y says that long E sound. Family. All right, you guys. So now that we have taken a look at some of our trick words that have that long E sound on the end, I want to practice a couple of new words. So I'm going to show you our word for the day. And I want you to read it to your computer. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Can you see it? Ooh. What is that word? C-O-Z-Y. Cozy. Very good. That word is cozy. Right now in your notebook, I want you to write down a sentence using the word cozy. And I'm going to write one too. I love to get cozy by snuggling up with a blanket and a good book. Ooh, that sounds really nice right now. I'm going to put an exclamation mark on that because I mean it. My sentence says, I love to get cozy by snuggling up with a blanket and a good book. Very good. Go ahead, now that we've got the word cozy and you've had plenty of time to write it, C-O-Z are small words and Y is a fall, or small letters, and Y is a fall letter. So make sure that you have written that neatly on your paper. And I want you to mark that up for me. How would we break it into syllables? How do we know that the O says the long O sound and the Y says the long E sound? What kind of syllables are those that let us know that those two vowels are long vowel sounds? When we mark it up, when we say cozy. So we can definitely divide the word in between the O and the Z. And we know that that O says its name. So it's got to be an open vowel, right? And that's another clue to divide it before the Z, not after. Because if we had divided it like this, C-O-Z-Y, it would say something different than cozy. It wouldn't say a long O sound. It would make a short sound because that's a closed syllable. It would say cozy, and that's not the word that we mean to say. Now, we've got Z-Y over here, and that Y is a long E sound, so it too is an open syllable. All right, that looks really great. Does your paper look like mine? Make it look like mine. You don't have to have my sentence. You can have your sentence. You don't really have to write that. Just make your word cozy look like mine. Okay, good job. Now that we've reminded ourselves of how to know how to spell that long E sound on the end of words, let's practice a few words that use a Y at the end for a long E sound. But Don't get messed up by misspelling the beginning of the word either. I want you to listen to the sounds and think, how can I write a letter that will make that sound and make sense using the rules that I know? Okay, the first word I want you to write is the word jelly. Jelly. Like, I would love some jelly on my toast. The word jelly. I'm going to write it too. I hear the sound. Jelly. Now we know in a closed syllable, if we hear the short vowel E, we've got to double that Y, right? And give a long vowel at the end. That long vowel. So we've got gel, which is closed, and E, which is open. Jelly. Good job. Jelly. All right, your next word is the word ivy. Ivy. There was a lot of ivy on the ground that we needed to step over. Ivy. How could we spell that correctly with a long I-V-E? Two long vowel sounds. How would we spell that? Well, it sounds like that very first letter is just like we talked about on Monday in some of our reading lessons on Monday, where the I is a syllable on its own. And then the Y, the VY, is also going to be an open syllable with a long E sound. Ivy. Good. I-V-Y. I-V. Good job. Did anybody write just the letters I and V? Sometimes it'll trick you. All right, and the last one I'm going to use because, I'm doing it. I'm going to use this last letter because I know none of you are this word, but the word is lazy. Lazy. How can we spell the word lazy correctly? Say it slowly. Listen to all the sounds. L-A-Z-E. What rules do we know that can help us spell L-A-Z-E? Lazy. I hear that L. I hear the A saying its name. So then we would not want more than one consonant afterwards, would we? Z is the Z sound and E on the end. I'm going to try it like this. L-A-Z-E. Does that look right to you? It does not look right to me. No. A consonant E would give us a long A sound, but it would not give us the E sound on the end that we need. I'm going to use a Y like we have been. That looks so much better. Lazy. And we know since that A is a long vowel sound, that's going to be open, and the ZY is going to be open as well with that long E sound on the top. Lazy. Now, some of us might look at that word and think, oh, we'll divide it after the Z and say lazy. If you come to a word and read it that way, lazy, would that make sense to you? No, it wouldn't make sense. So we would know as readers that we could try another vowel sound for the A, right? If lazy doesn't make sense, does lazy make sense? It sure does. As readers, our mind corrects these things much more quickly than it does when we are writers. Because with readers, we're taking in that information from the book, and as writers, we're putting it from our brains on the paper. So we've got to be careful as writers to say the word slowly and think to ourselves, what rules do I know that will give the letters the sounds I want them to make? And then we use what we know. All right, you guys, you did a great job. I'm proud of you, and I will see you later.